And welcome back. It is day two, and welcome from a very warm Toronto, Canada. We've got Kim in the room. I'm hoping we'll have some others join us. And I'm just about to get started. So I'm going to share my screen. Want to say hi to you, Kim. I hope you just saw my email. Glad you could join us today. We've got people coming on in, and hi from a very warm Toronto, Canada. We've got Marty, we've got Rita, we've got Stacy, and we also have Rita. So welcome back, everyone. It is day two of our 5-day challenge. How's everyone coming back to our call? Two thumbs up, ready to dive into today's topic? All right. Well, we did the intro yesterday, and I want to check in actually. Let's start with the check in. Who did further work on their vision last night? Anyone do further work? Marty, Stacy? Call yeah,
No.
a little bit so, maybe mine. How did anyone go to say Trello and do some work around pulling some images? Well, if you didn't, just an invite for you to maybe do some of that this week. So we're on to day number two, and today is all about skills and mindset. And again, the intention of this challenge is to get you into that daily steps plus consistent action to create some momentum. So one thing I want to say up front, I've looked at my schedule for tomorrow. It's likely I'm going to have to move the call earlier because I can't guarantee that I'm going to have good cell connection. I've got to go downtown to a large tech conference of about 30,000 people. So rather than try and risk that, I'm going to come on before my train leaves at 8 a.m. So Stacy, Pacific, you might not be there live, but what I can do is make sure that before I leave, I'll upload the recording so that people can look at it asynchronously. So just keep posted on your email if there's a change of plans, and there's a slight change of plans possibly. I may be back at 12, but most likely 8 a.m. tomorrow. So yesterday I shared the story of the lighthouse. Here is actually a photo of that very own lighthouse that, as my son says, you manifested it, Mom. So power of intention. There's the blue, there's the white, and that's where I'm going to be spending this entire summer. So if you're joining me from or for the summer camp, you'll see me all about that amazing property. So today is all about skills and mindset. And as entrepreneurs, it's not just about having a wishful thinking. It's about getting into action. It's about honing our skills and being able to actually get better at what we do. So in Coaching Business Builder and Plan Do Track, I share the wheel of business. And I wanted to take an opportunity today, as this first official start of spring, to actually walk you through the wheel and give you an opportunity to note for yourself where you are in each of these fundamental areas. You will see this in section 1 of the Coaching Business Builder, and it is an opportunity, I think, to really take stock. My invite is, when you do this today, to come back to it in 3 months, whether it is September 30th or September 20th, or it's the end of summer, whatever that means for you. Take note of where you are. So today's activity is once again going to be very hands-on, whether you're here live or you are here asynchronously. And I'd like to invite you to take stock of where you are with each of these 10 areas. So we're going to do a 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high. And I would like you to make some notes for yourself. You can just sketch this out by your hand. If you do have Coaching Business Builder, I invite you to open the book, right? Books are meant to be used, not just sit on a shelf. And part of the reason I wanted to do Coaching Business Builder is because I continue to meet amazing coaches who are like, oh, I don't want to mess up the book. Well, this is a book that I want you to put Post-it notes, sticky tabs, write all over it. And if you've already done this, you can sketch out a new one. Put a date on it. Let's start by putting today's date, June 20th, 22. And we're going to start with the first category, which might incite some fear, which is financial. But I'm big on, let's dive into the deep end first, right? I was a swimming instructor, a lifeguard. I got your back. Finances are the lifeblood of any coaching business. And unfortunately, as coaches, most of us have focused on honing our skills and not running a business. So I'd like you to take note for yourself, and you're not going to have to share this. Remember, you're not going to have to share this. This is for you. On a 1 to 10, where are you with your finances right now in this moment. Please take a second, we'll do this for about 30 seconds. Please take stock of where you are on that 1 to 10 around your finances. If there are specific areas that you think deserve note and attention, write those down for yourself. So start now, and I'll come back in 30 seconds and we'll move to the next area. All right, we're going to leave finances and we're going to move now into the world of our clients. Think about who you serve and the type of work you are doing or plan to do. Where are you on your own rating of a 1 to 10 around your clients? And this might incorporate a lot of things. It might include the number of clients you're serving, but also the supports that you've created for your clients. Take again about 45 seconds to note where you are with clients.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to move to the next category, which is administration. Coaching businesses really benefit from having a solid foundation. This can range in administration. It can range from our financial reporting and being able to note where we are at any given time. It can include our client systems like welcome emails, client intakes packs. If you're doing group coaching or team coaching, that might include also welcome emails or letters or questionnaires. So think about administration. Where are you? And again, just notice where you're at. And if there is an immediate idea of a next step, please note that as well as you're going through this. A next step could be not for today, but for the next quarter. All right, so we're moving on to probably everyone's favorite, marketing. And for yourself, think of where you are with your marketing. That might include your visibility and outreach, but it could also include the ideas that you have. It could include your website, speaking engagements, anything you're doing to really be moving the needle on establishing relationships with others. All right, let's move on now to coaching. And coaching, of course, will include your one on one, your group, and your team. Where are you on that level of satisfaction and fulfillment around your coaching work right now on a 1 to 10? And is there anything that stands out for you? Take a moment, note it down. All right. And next on to relationship building. As I said yesterday, no person is an island. So for yourself, where are your relational efforts? Are you spending time reconnecting with folks? Are you following up? Are you maybe putting time in your calendar every week to build new relationships? Um, as a seasoned coach, I realize relationships are everything. I'm on sort of a I need a resource in this business very quickly. And I reached out to someone this morning who I had never met, but I knew reputationally. And luckily they replied back to me right away, gave me a suggestion. I emailed back. And then just before this call, a final email came in solving the issue. And I was like, wow, I thought it was going to be a 5-week problem. It was solved in 5 hours. And I think it was because of relationships. So remember, it's not just your immediate relationships, but who else do you know? Who do you know of? And so building time in, again, this challenge and this whole body of work is about daily steps plus consistent action. It's not the things we're going to do, today, but like over the course of the next 3 months, what can you do to build some new relationships or solidify ones that you already have? All right, so that will take us next to sales. Again, might be a component of your revenue. It might be a component of your marketing. Where are you with sales? Do you have a sales process? Are you thinking about things that are in the pipeline? Are you thinking about sales at the end of the year, or are you working to the immediate? For yourself, take note of what is important around sales for you right this minute, and where you are again on a 1 to 10. And then we're going to go to promotion. So in business, this is where a lot of us think. We get out, we talk about what we do, we hopefully get to demonstrate what we do. What are your plans this quarter for promotion? Is there a newsletter? Are you going to be a podcast guest for someone? Are you going to be speaking or maybe sharing a blog post on your LinkedIn? Think about where you're at and what some priorities are for you this quarter. And then we're going to go to one of my favorites, program or product design. As you'll read in section 2 of Coaching Business Builder, I've made an intentional move in this business to introduce a new program, product every year of the business's history. So books fulfill that, programs fulfill that. And I'd like to challenge you to think about, what are you creating on an annual basis that might be new or a significant up-leveling of what you're already doing? Where are you with your program or product design? Think about that, and maybe there's a particular focus you want to have in this next quarter. And finally, well, we have 2 more. The next one, though, is influence. And influence, of course, is a much bigger skill than we'll give it time for right now. If you have a copy of my latest writing, Reconnecting Workspaces, I go into what Cialdini calls the 7 layers of influence. So we can, when we're not in a direct line management position, we really want to use that skill of influence to affect change, to build relationships. And Cialdini talks about things like the principle, I think he calls it, of reciprocity, right? If we do something for someone, we go out of our way, they're more likely to do something for us. So even as a young business, how are you giving to hopefully receive? This has been a big part of how I have run this business. I started it the first year of business, and my dad was actually an entrepreneur. He was a pharmacist, and he was in the era of the corner store drugstores that were a really big part of the community. And as a young girl growing up, I was always fascinated by what we got to help him with at Christmas time, which was, or at year end, which was really helping package these little calendars that he had made up for his clients and customers and the neighborhood. And so when I started Potentials Realized, I was thinking about what will I do? So I did pens. I actually did folding calendars. I think I should find where they are. I have copies of them. First 3 years of my business, I sent out to my mailing list those pocket calendars, and I had Potentials Realized on them, etc. So I didn't do anything for a while, but I then this year just got these fun little stylus pens. So if anyone would like me to slip one into the mail for you, send me an email and I'll send you a Potentials Realized stylus pen to remember this experience. So big or small, right? Like people remember you when you're in front of them. And a little giving does always give back, I think, multifold. So that's influence. And then I've left a final category of other. Maybe there's a category here that I haven't touched on yet. I'll just give you 30 seconds, 45 seconds of silence to think about what else. What else is important for you in your business right now or over the next 3 months? All right, so I invite you to tuck this away, put it somewhere with your, maybe you have a business folder, maybe you have a business binder, but take a look at this again. And if you do have Coaching Business Builder, check out page 9 on a regular basis. So that's part one of our time today. We've got about 10 minutes left, and I wanted to include beyond the skills, like each one of these areas has skills. But I think, as I shared yesterday, I think there's also a big part of business success around mindset. And mindset really is, enshrined in so many ways. It's enshrined through what we say to ourselves, how we approach it. You've heard me say this probably a dozen times already, but part of the mindset of entrepreneurial work that we really encourage, especially here at Potentials Realized and in the Coaching Biz Growth Lab, is this notion of daily steps plus consistent action equaling momentum. It's these small drops that really do create a ripple effect. It's the daily 15 minutes that over time create new products, new books, new works of art. And I have to say, this has been something personally in my business that I've been practicing. One of the reasons why Coaching Business Builder came together as it did was because at that stage, 5 years ago, I was already starting to see so many coaches that I'd worked with who were really investing in this process. This year, in the last year, actually, during the pandemic, we've seen even more people really getting into this notion of the daily steps and consistent action. During 2021, we had more than 100 professionals join us for the 21 for 21 virtual co-working sprints. And I may have shared a little bit about these. These were 21 minutes a day co-working, where I would bring people together. They'd bring a project they were working on. We met for 21 days straight. And that 7.5 hours, it was a little bit more than 7.5 hours, really helped people blow through projects that they'd been stuck with. So things like getting a website resurrected, editing books, doing outreach with all their clients. It was fascinating to see across the 100+ people that joined me over several months in early 2021 what actions they took. So I want you to really be thinking about the mindset. Are you trying to go from 0 to 100 in a week, or are you looking at investing over time through these chunks that you have available? Henry David Thoreau wrote about, the importance of building in margin in our life. And I think certainly, many of us, myself included, we're not just an entrepreneur, we're a parent, we're a partner. In my case, I'm a caretaker to my two parents. So I have these very, chunk like components of my day. And it's not only important to focus on the business, but it's also important to focus on myself. So once again, I'm just back from the pool. I got my little workout in for 45 minutes. It's a 7-minute drive to and from the pool. That's my hour that most people would take lunch for. But I know that it's in those moments, as I did today, to really sort of strategically think about what did I need to get done? What really had to get done by the end of business day? What are some of those components that need to happen in the next week before I take some vacation? Because for me, July is that vacay time. So think about your mindset. Where is it? Are you getting enough rest and renewal? Are you really looking at working through some of the inner critics, the gremlins, the saboteurs that we all carry around? Because it's those components as well as our skills that are really going to help us. So think through, daily steps plus consistent action can be a piece around mindset, whether you are into doing meditation, whether you're into hiking and spending time outside, or whether you are into really, making your environment a lovely place to be. There's many ways that we can practice this in short windows of time. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, what's your frequency? And I really want to encourage you to think about the mindset piece of business development because it's not a straight trajectory. I will say that from experience. It's a lot of ups and it's a lot of downs. And sometimes those downs last for a while, but it's important that we have people around us as well as strategies to keep us at the top of our game because business is a bit of a game in many ways and having that mindset to keep pushing, keep persevering if you've been rejected or you've had people say no, no, no. And I always like to, a lot of people say, oh, Jen, you've been so lucky in your business. Well, we create our own luck as well, right? One of the biggest sort of rejections I faced as a writer was my 2017 book, Effective Virtual Conversations, which I had taken to my former publisher and said, here's a great proposal. I think the world needs this book. And after several weeks of, debate at their organization, they turned back to me and said, we're not interested. We're not interested in doing anything about virtual and remote work. And I said, okay, all right, well, what do I do? And after some time, I actually set up a media house. I have a publishing company now, which is where we publish all of our resources through. And so it was the best thing because when 2020 came around, the book 10x'd in terms of sales and it sold thousands of copies, as much, if not more now than my first two books. And as a writer, especially as a female business writer, it's been a lot more profitable than my first two books. So again, rejection. If I'd sort of just said, oh, no one wants the book, I wouldn't have done it. But there was something internally that I knew it was really important to get that book out, especially in the year of 2017 when I was facing some surgery and I wasn't really quite sure if I was going to make it out of that surgery. But the good news is here I am, 2022, everything worked out fine. So invite today, I'm not going to read through this, but I'd invite you to check out page 39, section 2 of Coaching Business Builder, where it goes into some discussion around mindset through the doorway of leveraging strengths and really finding that place of flow. Finding these moments of what we now call deep work are so important. And if you've read Cal Newport's work, deep work, very important. I personally was really influenced by Mikhail, I can never pronounce his last name, but Mikhail C., who wrote Flow back in the 1990s. And as a young undergrad student, fourth year undergrad at McGill, we had to read Flow as part of our curriculum. And I was automatically just turned on to this idea of like, wow, professionally, could I ever step into a world of flow? And the next year, actually, months later, I found myself working and living in Central America, working on some really important eco-tourist work that 30 years later is generating a lot of money for local communities and have influenced generations of young professionals in that country. But I don't think if I'd looked at flow and read through it through the lens of what could I be doing in my work, in my working life as a young person, leveraging the talents that I had. And so, whether you work directly with strengths, whether you work indirectly as strengths, I think many of us as coaches, this is a touch point. So, invitation for you to think about strengths, flow as it relates to your mindset, but also strengths and flow as it relates to the clients that you work with. And I practice what I preach. Next week, we're doing a leading in the hybrid space for a team here, quite locally, but not really right around the corner. And we're going to be doing work around strengths, right? It's all about strengths for 3 hours. And I know it's going to have such impact for that team who's hungry to really reconnect in the workspace. So think about that. What is going to help you? And if you have not seen this yet, here's another doorway into helping you ascertain what is really going to get your juices flowing. So last summer, I launched the hybrid work style quiz. It came out just after my TED talk. And one of the fascinations I've had for years, really 3 decades now, has been how teams operate in a hybrid space as well as a remote space. So the first decade plus of my career, I was typically leading teams from a central headquarters in either, well, mostly it was South America or it was Central America. And our team was spread across multiple locations, often very remote. And what I noticed time and time again was that as I sat down virtually or physically with my team leads, everyone had such a different style. And when we could find those like great projects that matched their skills and talents, that's when like the whole program flourished. So, working with a team of like 20 different professionals, 10 geographic locations, it was a challenge. And so as I sat down last year to think about what could be a contribution in the evolving workspace, I immediately thought about, well, it's work styles of some sort. So we're now this hybrid work style quiz. It's not an assessment, it's a quiz. It's been taken by thousands of people now. You can access it at bit.ly.com/hybrid work quiz. And it is a 2-minute quiz that you can do on your phone to gain some insights as to what might be some of your natural drivers. Back to mindset, right? There are things that drive us. So just very quickly, the hybrid work style process or, sort of styles include people who are builders, people who like to check things off and get things done. Maybe that's you. And if it is you, you're probably wondering, when is Jennifer going to end? Like, what are we done? You might also be a visionary, and the visionaries probably really enjoyed yesterday's session, all about vision. The visionaries on the team are painting that future place and really helping the team move forward. On a lot of teams today, hopefully, we have innovative experimenters, the people who are like the alchemists, who are like putting things together and weaving them together to help the team move forward. And then we also hopefully have people on a team that are the culture wizards. This might be the coach in the team, it might be a leader, but someone who's really attending to the connections and how we do things here. The culture wizards are the ones who are really looking not just at results, but how do we get those results? And finally, there may be connectors on the team, people who are helping connect people, connect the team with resources, etc. So in all the years of doing a lot of team development work, I know how valuable it can be to have a framework for discussion. And a lot of my clients over the years have done the DISC, they've done MBTI, they may or may not have budget. And that's where the hybrid work style is just a free quiz to start the conversation around how people prefer to work. So if you haven't taken this, my guess is, one, you probably are working hybrid. You maybe are doing things virtually and sometimes back face to face. Take a moment, complete the quiz, download the report, and see what value there is for you. And if you want to learn more about this, you can definitely check out the YouTube channel. We now have a 5-week coaching the hybrid work style team program, which just launched this spring. And a lot of people have loved that because it gives them tools to work individually or collectively with leaders and or teams in today's hybrid workspace. So today's takeaway, I did a lot of talking today. You did a lot of writing. Share with us in chat, maybe, or even verbally, what was your takeaway from the call today? We'd love to hear what your takeaway was. Marty does this regularly. So
Yep.
Marty, what was your takeaway?
Yeah, well, my numbers went up in the circle of business, so that's good to, and there are places where it haven't, but generally they went up, so that's good to see.
That's good to see. Well, it's your concerted effort, right, Marty? You're showing up
Yep,
and you're doing the work.
yep,
And,
yep,
I think that's really a big part of this equation. What is the time you're earmarking to take action? And it's not always easy action. It's definitely not always a straightforward path, but we start seeing that momentum take shape.
yep.
Fantastic. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to share verbally or in chat what your takeaway was?
I'll just share verbally because I don't want to type it all. I really liked doing it this style, this wheel of business. So really looking at, and although I'm new and some of the numbers were low, there's actually a couple that were high because I want to give myself some credit that I'm doing a lot of things in coaching. I'm doing a lot of relationship building. So, and then the other ones, zero, very low. So, it's looking at and putting it on paper and seeing that visual I really like. So that was really cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. And again, for each one of you, you might have a focus for the entire quarter, right? You might decide I'm going to zoom into one skill set and really double down on that. You might have a different one each month. Really notice how you like to work, right? Part of today's skills and mindset is to get you thinking about what's your natural rhythm. We all work very differently. And the beauty of running a business is we can design the business around us. And that's what I really want to, plant the seed around, because if I'd listened to a lot of people who were senior in this profession when I started, one, I wouldn't have doubled down on group coaching. The resistance I heard when I said, oh, we can coach groups. Oh no, Jennifer, you can't do that. And it was like, I think I can, and I think I will. So again, be true to yourself as well. All right, so any other takeaways as we get going? So daily steps today, revisit any strengths assessments you have either not created, but undertaken, right? Like maybe you've done Strengths Finder, maybe you did VIA Strengths. So if you have never done VIA Strengths, Values, and Action, that's a great strengths assessment to check out. It's free of charge. So look it up, just Google it. It comes from the positive psychology movement, VIA. And it is fantastic. It will definitely give you some, insights and something to chew on. Really want to invite you to take the hybrid work styles quiz. It is 2 minutes on your phone. Again, bit.ly.com/hybrid work quiz. And I'll send that out in the recording link later today. And consider joining us in Tuesdays this summer or even in the fall for the new 5-week Coaching the Hybrid Work Styles program. We're going to offer it again this summer, but it'll be back again this fall, especially if you're captivated by this notion of how do you help teams really come together in a way where they're running together as well. So take note for yourself. What's important to note today, we are 5 minutes over time, so I want to respect your time. And here's your level up if you really want to choose, the level up, the harder stream of things. You want a bit more challenge. And that, first of all, is to complete the Coaching Business Builder Wheel, not just now, but put in your calendar a revisiting of this, whether you revisit it monthly, quarterly, do this more than once. And then review your strengths assessment and your hybrid work styles and add something to your Q3 vision. So tomorrow is the last day to join us at the early bird rate for Coaching Business Builders Summer Camp. Definitely think about joining us. We kick off July 7th and run through August 15th. More about the summer camp. There's going to be 3 cabin groups this summer. So people are specializing in different things. Some people just want to build their business. Others want to do more around group coaching, and some want to do around team coaching. So I've had a few questions like, what are the weekly events? What are we doing? Well, Mondays, we're going to be meeting for a group coaching deep dive call in the cabin of your choice. Tuesdays, I'll be hosting an evening program from the beautiful lighthouse area of Friday Harbor. And Wednesdays is going to be a special midweek get it done activity so that you blow through some of these pieces in your business. And then Thursdays are going to be a Q&A call. And on selected Fridays, I'm going to have an open house with our Coaching Biz Growth Lab and Learning Lab and Design Studio. So if you're at all interested, scan the QR code, or you can go to groupcoachingessentials.com. There's some extra bonuses, including access to our marketing tips for your group and team coaching programs. That's an on-demand program. You also get the 60-day Coaching Biz Accelerator program, which is a program I ran pre-pandemic and recorded. And it's 60 days of like business principles, really fun and, you know, of great value. And then you also get a discount towards our Coaching Biz Growth Lab, which is an ongoing annual program. So I hope that you'll consider joining us for the 5 weeks. We're going to look at core foundations. This is in the Monday sessions and really running through it the week. You and your ecosystem. We're also going to be looking at your core foundations and systems, looking at your programs and products and marketing and visibility. So I know it's not for everyone, but if you really want to have some of that, I'm going to say the gasoline on your business this summer, this may be something that you're interested in, and I'll send more information. At very least, join the challenge group, grab your phone, scan the QR code, and join us at the Mighty Networks, which is where I'm posting some of these additional resources, and let's keep the conversation going. And with that, we'll see you tomorrow, most likely at 8 a.m. So just a reminder, it's going to be super early. I'll get the recording up if I do host it early by 10 a.m. And I'll be back here Thursday at 12 noon. I just don't want to risk getting downtown and then not being able to see you at all. So we'll do on demand tomorrow for those that can't make the early 8 a.m. call. With that, everyone, take care. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon. Bye.